The tech world shifted dramatically this week. Google unveiled something far beyond expectations. People thought they'd see simple upgrades today, but everything changed the moment Gemini dropped. The rollout felt nothing like previous launches. It moved fast, sharp, and strangely strategic. This release carried a different kind of weight. It felt like a glimpse into something bigger. Screenshots flooded timelines within minutes of release. Benchmarks spiked higher than analysts predicted earlier. Developers began posting unbelievable reasoning test results. Leaderboards tilted entirely in Google's direction. Confusion spread because numbers looked almost impossible. People quietly wondered what Google was hiding. But the real shock wasn't performance itself. The real shock was Google's underlying message. Gemini didn't arrive as a normal model. It arrived as a coordinated system activation. Every piece of Google suddenly aligned perfectly. It looked like a blueprint for something larger, something deeper, hidden, and extremely controlled intentionally. Industry leaders reacted faster than usual online. Sam Altman congratulated Google within minutes publicly. Elon Musk joined the conversation shortly after. These reactions weren't casual, friendly, or random. They were signals of pressure felt deeply. These leaders rarely acknowledge competitors without reason. Their responses showed Google had changed the landscape. But what truly shocked everyone was placement. Google immediately deployed Gemini into core search. This move didn't follow usual release patterns. Search is Google's most protected global product. It supports billions of daily interactions worldwide. Placing a new model there is risky. Google only does this when absolutely confident. This showed Gemini wasn't just another upgrade. It was strong enough for worldwide deployment instantly. The implications shook the entire tech community. If Gemini powered search directly at launch, Google clearly viewed it as battle-ready technology. And that single decision changed everything overnight. People kept discussing benchmarks, meanwhile, endlessly. They compared tokens, speed, reasoning, and creativity. They argued about multimodal depth and stability. But benchmarks weren't the important detail here. The true story lived behind public numbers. Something structural had changed inside Google's ecosystem. Gemini's reasoning style shocked experienced researchers worldwide. The model didn't rely on chaotic thinking. It didn't follow sprawling chains of thought. Instead, it mapped problems into layered structures. It broke tasks into clean internal steps. Its reasoning looked intentional rather than reactive. This created uncanny consistency across difficult evaluations. Developers noticed this pattern almost immediately online. They realized Gemini organized tasks before answering anything. It behaved more like a strategic system. It analyzed goals, mapped steps, and executed cleanly. This wasn't typical model behavior seen before. Then multimodal examples started leaking everywhere rapidly. Gemini handled text, images, videos, diagrams seamlessly. It interpreted them as one unified information field. Inputs no longer felt like separate data types. Everything blended into one coherent, contextual structure. This allowed stunning accuracy across difficult sequences. People realized Google had changed multimodal processing fundamentally. The model didn't drift during long context evaluations. It held massive documents without losing coherence. It tracked video without forgetting earlier frames. It followed chaotic footage with unusual stability. This represented a real jump in understanding. But this was only surface-level capability still. Beneath the demos lived Google's deeper strategy. Gemini wasn't just a model for tasks. It acted more like an engine for systems. Its behavior felt designed for long-term reasoning. Its architecture supported structured step-by-step planning. The patterns pointed to one clear direction now. Google wasn't building another chatbot competitor here. They were building the early foundation for AGI, a reasoning engine designed for enormous coordination, a model meant to synchronize across product ecosystems. The clues were all scattered across the rollout, and once people connected them carefully, everything shifted. This wasn't a simple update or flashy model. It was the opening move of something unprecedented. Now the story moves into deeper territory. Because Gemini wasn't Google's only hidden surprise. There was something bigger beneath the surface. A system that revealed Google's long-term intentions. A framework built for far more than chat. A structure designed for real operational intelligence. Developers quickly noticed strange new patterns emerging. Gemini didn't simply answer prompts anymore. It navigated tasks like a trained operator. It planned steps before offering final responses. It reorganized problems logically without being asked. This behavior hinted at a larger capability. Then came the multimodal shift that shocked everyone. Gemini processed images, videos, diagrams, and text together. Not separately, not sequentially, but completely unified. Every input contributed to one massive context window. The model treated mixed data as one universe. This allowed deeper reasoning across complex information streams. Its video understanding revealed a massive breakthrough. Gemini followed objects across chaotic motion footage. It remembered details from earlier frames consistently. It understood temporal sequences without breaking logic. This type of stability looked unbelievably advanced. It pushed past limitations of previous multimodal models. Then developers started testing Gemini's coding abilities. The model handled refactors across multiple file systems. It coordinated tools to complete structured coding tasks. It solved errors without hallucinating false dependencies. It handled long-horizon planning across entire projects. This wasn't simple code generation anymore. But everything changed when Google unveiled Antigravity. Because Antigravity wasn't just another coding interface, it functioned like an operational playground for Gemini, a controlled environment for practicing real digital work. The model could open files, run terminals, navigate browsers. It could observe output, adjust direction, and continue. It operated like a junior engineer, learning autonomously. People underestimated how important this environment is, because real AGI requires real task execution capabilities. It requires planning, coordination, and structured decision loops. It requires understanding workflows, not isolated prompts. Antigravity. Let Gemini practice exactly those skills. This environment felt like a simulation chamber. A place where the model improved long-term reasoning. A place where structured tasks became natural steps. A place where tool usage became second nature. And that's when something clicked for researchers worldwide. Antigravity wasn't built for casual developer assistance. It was built for high-level autonomous operation. A system capable of managing complex digital environments. This aligned perfectly with another unexpected reveal. Google's results on long-horizon evaluations stunned everyone, especially on Vending Bench, the year-long business simulation. The model managed inventory, forecasting, pricing, and strategy. It coordinated hundreds of steps with careful precision. It achieved the highest returns across every frontier model. This wasn't normal reasoning ability anymore.
It looked like a prototype for genuine agent intelligence. A system capable of operating over long timelines. A system capable of making connected decisions reliably. A system capable of acting with intentional structure. Then a new layer of evidence emerged. Rumors surfaced about Google's internal AGI initiative, something called Alpha Assist, hidden for several years. A project described as full-scale task automation, a system meant to take responsibilities autonomously, a system designed for real-world digital operations. And suddenly, everything aligned perfectly with Gemini. The planning tools, the agent environment, the reasoning style. Every piece matched Alpha Assist's rumored blueprint. It became clear Gemini wasn't fully standalone. It was part of a larger engineered architecture, a step inside a multi-layered intelligent ecosystem. Google had been quietly aligning products for years. Search, Android, Chrome, Maps, Docs, YouTube, Photos. Every major platform now connected through Gemini.
Every service became part of one evolving network, an ecosystem where the model could operate seamlessly. When you look at the complete picture now, Google isn't building just another AI model. They're building a distributed intelligence across everything, a system that learns, reasons, and executes continuously. A system preparing to function like true AGI. This was the part nobody expected today. And it's where the real story actually begins. The deeper you explore this shift, the clearer things appear. Google didn't just upgrade a model this time. They rewired their entire technological foundation quietly. Everything connected in ways never seen before. And this connection revealed Google's real endgame. Because Gemini wasn't built to stand alone. It was built to operate across ecosystems. It was built to synchronize with global infrastructure. It was built to function like a distributed mind. Think about the scale for a moment now. Billions of people use Google products daily. Search, Maps, Chrome, YouTube, Android, Gmail, Photos, everything. Each product feeds data into Google's massive backbone. Each interaction becomes part of a richer context, and Gemini now sits inside that entire structure. This is where Google's full-stack power emerges. They control the hardware, the software, and distribution. They control the silicon running these huge models. They control the cloud powering real-time processing. They control the apps people depend on daily. They control the operating systems behind global devices. No competitor has that level of reach. OpenAI depends entirely on third-party platforms worldwide. They rely on partners for cloud distribution infrastructure. They don't own the global data pipelines directly. They don't run operating systems or mobile ecosystems. Their intelligence exists inside rented digital space. Google, on the other hand, owns everything required. That gives them a frightening strategic advantage. When they update their ecosystem, billions update instantly. No onboarding friction, no new adoption cycle. Just a massive, silent upgrade across the planet. This is why Gemini's integration feels different. It isn't a product, it's an installed layer. A cognitive layer embedded inside everyday digital life. And then comes the part most people missed. Gemini didn't just show reasoning improvements externally. It showed signs of internal operational autonomy. It handled tasks requiring deep, layered understanding. It adjusted direction mid-process without losing context. It understood long-term objectives with unusual clarity. The model behaved like it possessed internal strategy. Not sentience, not consciousness, but structured planning. The kind of planning required for true AGI. Now pair that behavior with Antigravity's capabilities. A full environment where the model practices tasks, where it learns to handle tools autonomously, where it navigates real development workflows consistently. where it builds durable habits across complex actions. This environment becomes a training ground for agents, a place where models develop operational intelligence gradually, a place where multi-step tasks become natural skills, a place where everything moves toward agent-level performance. And Google isn't hiding this direction anymore. They're aligning every product behind this new philosophy. Search becomes the public reasoning engine globally. Chrome becomes the workspace for digital operations. Android becomes the device hosting distributed agents. Docs and Sheets become places for task execution. Maps becomes a navigation layer for physical understanding. YouTube becomes a massive multimodal training resource automatically. When all these platforms connect under Gemini guidance, Google essentially builds a global AGI distribution network. Not in a lab, but inside daily life. Not in theory, but in deployed infrastructure. Now consider one more hidden layer emerging. Signals from China revealed something unexpected recently. Reports described an internal Google project resurfacing now. A project named Alpha Assist. Deeply ambitious originally. A system designed to autonomously complete human tasks. A system meant to handle responsibilities end to end. And Gemini's current behavior matches these descriptions perfectly. The planning, reasoning, tool use, and autonomy align. It looks like Google finally activated this roadmap. Not fully, not explicitly, but subtly and intentionally. This means Gemini isn't the main objective anymore. It's simply the engine powering the real transformation. The transformation toward distributed, integrated artificial intelligence. Google didn't reveal AGI loudly this year. They revealed the infrastructure required to launch it. They revealed the ecosystem capable of hosting it. They revealed the early behaviors AGI will depend on. And the question now grows louder everywhere. Is Gemini the first quiet step toward AGI? And have we already started using pieces unknowingly? Everything now leads toward one unavoidable conclusion. Google is building something far bigger than expected. Gemini wasn't designed as a single breakthrough. It was designed as an ecosystem-wide ignition point. A silent switch flipping Google into AGI mode. Because think about how everything aligns today. Gemini enters search without hesitation or caution. Antigravity gives Gemini hands inside real workflows. Long-horizon tasks reveal unusual strategic consistency. Multimodal reasoning shows deep cross-domain understanding. And Google's massive infrastructure supports every new capability. It feels less like a product update today, and more like the activation of an entire organism. A system connecting logic, data, memory, and tools. A system capable of scaling faster than competitors. Most companies release models inside isolated environments. Google releases models directly into global infrastructure. Billions of people interact with Gemini unknowingly. Every interaction becomes fuel for improvement worldwide. This is why analysts suddenly became concerned. This wasn't a competitive model upgrade anymore. This was the beginning of platform-level intelligence, the kind only possible with Google's empire. Look closely at how everything functions now. Search reasons on your behalf automatically. Chrome becomes a workspace for dynamic agents. Android becomes the device for persistent intelligence. Docs becomes a collaborative environment with autonomous helpers. Gmail drafts content with deeper contextual awareness. Maps predicts behavior across real-world navigation scenarios. YouTube strengthens multimodal understanding through massive data sets. Every piece contributes something essential to Gemini, and every piece makes Google's AGI approach stronger. But here's where things turn truly dramatic now. Google doesn't need to announce AGI publicly. They don't need to declare a milestone loudly. They can simply integrate new abilities silently. They can expand agentic capabilities behind normal updates. They can roll out intelligence through infrastructure changes. One quiet patch can shift global behavior instantly. One update can expand the system's abilities massively. One improvement can accelerate agentic performance worldwide. This is AGI without a press release. This is AGI delivered through everyday tools. This is AGI emerging through silent integration pathways. And most people won't realize it immediately. They'll simply notice tasks finishing automatically. They'll notice searches becoming frighteningly accurate. They'll notice software behaving more intelligently each week. They'll notice workflows completing with minimal intervention. They'll notice devices anticipating needs in advance. By the time they question what changed, the transformation will already be fully deployed. And then there's the final hidden layer. Google's entire strategy mirrors a global pattern. A pattern where intelligence emerges across ecosystems, not from a single model, but an architecture. Not from one brain, but a connected network. Alpha Assist fits inside this pattern perfectly. Its rumored purpose was full autonomy gradually. Gemini now demonstrates the early behaviors required: planning, tool use, self-correction, and long-term reasoning. The foundation for AGI is clearly emerging. Now imagine this system scaled across billions. Imagine Gemini accessing tools across Chrome seamlessly. Imagine agents running inside Android persistently. Imagine anti-gravity training, advanced operational intelligence continuously. Imagine every Google product becoming part of one mind. That possibility isn't science fiction anymore today. It's already unfolding inside the global digital infrastructure. It's happening quietly, slowly, intentionally, yet undeniably. Which leads to the final unavoidable question now. If Google is already constructing an AGI ecosystem, and if Gemini is its cognitive engine today, then are we experiencing the beginning of AGI deployment? Not announced loudly, not labeled explicitly, but delivered softly into the world around us. Integrated into products we use daily already. Hidden behind updates we never question deeply. So the real question becomes incredibly profound now. Are we witnessing the first subtle version of AGI? And did it already start without anyone noticing?